Hi everybody, it's me, Nina. Well, today I'm going to go ahead and get my tomato plants planted. I was going to wait for probably about another week because here in Ohio, you just never know about the weather. But the plants that I have are starting to look a little puny no matter what I do to them. So I figured I'm going to put them in the ground. If they live or die, they would probably die in the house anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on those. And I'm trying something new this year. I had seen a TikTok video and they actually put an egg, which I had never heard of, in the ground before they put the tomato plant. And they planted the tomato plant right on top of the egg. Cracked the egg and then they crushed up the shell of the egg, and I guess that, sorry about all the roosters, but anyway, they cracked the shell of the egg and they said that that would give the egg calcium, or that would give the tomato plant calcium, and then when the organisms in the ground would eat on the egg, that would feed the tomato plant. So I'm going to try it. We've got, as you know, we've got fresh eggs from our chickens, so let's get started. Okay, as you see here, these are the types of tomatoes we've got. I've got 3 big boy. We've got 3 of the yellow brandywine. Those aren't looking very good, but I'm hoping they'll pull through. We've got 3 of the early girl. And, well, I guess we got 6 of the early girl, because that's good, because these 3 aren't looking as good. And then these really look puny. These are just called delicious. And I'm hoping the 2 on the right, I can get them to pull through. But that one on the left, I don't even think I'm fooling with it. It looks already like it's rotted. And I got my eggs. I'm gonna do this delicious one. I want to go ahead and share a little bit of knowledge with some of the new people that are watching that maybe have not gardened very often, or maybe never at all. But when you plant tomatoes, I just wanted to show you, if you've got a low stem, and none of these 3 do, but if you have one that's low, like down through here, I always pull that off. And I don't know, let me see if I can get close. Can you see those? Yeah, I think you can see those little like hair-like things on the stem of that tomato. Those will actually take root. So if you plant them and you feel like you might have gotten them too deep, don't you worry, because those will all act like roots. They'll root out and it will give you a really good root system. So you don't have to plant them, just like an inch deep or whatever. I always plant them down to the green, to the leaves. And that way all of that part will take root and you'll have a really strong root system for your plant to grow good. Also, a lot of folks back, I guess, probably many, many years ago, if they didn't use a cage to stake up their tomatoes or some other type of form to keep your tomato standing up, so the fruit, so the tomato itself would not be laying on the ground, these would actually fall over from the weight of the tomatoes, and you would end up having roots. It would just lay, if it was laying on its side like that in the dirt, it would take root all the way up along those stems, and you would have probably more fruit, more tomato. But I don't like my tomatoes laying on the ground, because of, pests, and Willow will come out here and eat them, my dog. But yeah, I don't like them laying on the ground, so we stake ours up. But that is something that they used to do back many, many, many years ago, and if they didn't have the cages and stuff that we have nowadays. I wanted to show you guys some of the asparagus is up. Got to try and get that covered up most of the way with dirt. That's the first one out of the 3 that has a start on it. Alright, I'm going to have a total of 14 tomato plants. And I did actually make a mistake, and that's okay. It's going to work out. Steve had planted, as you can see over here, planted onions. And you're not supposed to actually have tomatoes and onions, close together. But I think it'll be alright. If my tomatoes have an oniony flavor, be alright with me. I like onions anyway. But anyway, yeah, they'll be fine. What are you doing, Miss Willow? Are you wondering what Mommy's doing with all the eggs? As you guys know, she's the one. She's the garden hog. She'll come out when things are ripe and eat green beans and tomatoes and stuff right off the vines. Well, I got 13 of the tomato plants in the garden. And then I have that right there, that planter. I put the last of the yellow ones in there. And Steve is starting on the 3 Sisters method. You start with corn first, make you a mound, and I'll let him tell you all about that. But I want to say one thing for those of you that are like me, I guess health challenged would probably be a good word. But that little wagon that Steve got me last year, I'll zoom up a little bit. The garden wagon. Not only has that thing, it's just been a blessing to me. I do still, of course, have to bend over, which you would have to do regardless if you're on your knees or butt or whatever. But I can't get on my knees. And if I sit, it's hard to get up because I have to use my arm muscles, which causes my chest to bother me, the bones, But that little thing, I just pull it around. It's got the little basket in the back. Now, we purchased that. It was not anything that a company gave us or anything, and I don't get anything off if you order one. So I'm not telling you this to get anything from you guys. I just want you to know, if you suffer with health issues the way that I do, and you still like and are still able to get out and garden a little bit, I highly recommend it. I really do. Now I've just got to get busy, and all of the flower beds over there are in bad shape. I gotta get those done. So I am sitting on my swing underneath of the trees that my dad planted, enjoying the shade and a little bit of the breeze. And this is what I do. I do a little bit and I stop and go sit in the shade and rest. So if any of you are out there, like I said, when you got your health issues, you are number one to yourself. If you push yourself too much, you're only hurting yourself. And, well, of course, and your family, because then you're not going to be able to hardly do anything. So just take your time and do what you feel like doing. Now, I actually was able to plant all 14 of those tomato plants and felt really, really good today. But yet I know how my body is and how my health is. I know to sit down, take it easy for a little bit. I've got me a big thing of water over here and I'm going to drink that before I even think about getting started again. So take care of yourself, okay?
Alright, so I got 6 hills made and planted some corn in each one of them, in the middle of them. So once those start coming up, then when they get 6 inches to a foot tall, we'll plant the beans. And then a week later it said to plant the squash seeds. So I don't know how long it'll take them beans to actually start or the corn to actually start coming up. It says it'll be mature in 83 days, so shouldn't take them too long. And then we'll plant the beans around them and the squash. So they said to have an area, what was it, 25 foot long, which that's about what that is, and I don't know, 15 foot wide, which ours ain't that wide, but they only showed doing 3, like maybe 9 mounds, where I did 6. So
Okay.
I mean, 3 more mounds ain't really going to make that much difference.
No, and the thing is, that'd be plenty for eating,
Yeah,
but we want to be able to can and
yeah.
freeze.
And where I was down there hoeing the dirt up into a pile, I had just seen it must have flown off. There was a bird down there taking a bird bath in it.
Yep.